Locker room talk, baby.
The locker room.
Jake Marchetto, what's going on, bro?
Not much, mate. How you been?
Been very, very good. Thanks for coming on. For those who don't know, Jake Marchetto is a player for the Dragons, wide running forward.
Yeah, a bit of a utility these days, but yeah, wide running forward.
You've played a bit in the halves, not in the halves, in the hooker role, haven't you? I know when we played together, you were in 5/8 for a bit.
Yeah, back then, Wayne sort of saw me as a bit of a ball player, which I think I'll go alright playing with the ball in the middle, and he just sort of started playing me in hooker a little bit, and I got a couple of games in reserve grade, and I think maybe 2 or 3 off the bench for the Dragons a couple of years back. But yeah, I have played a couple of games at hooker this year in reserve grade, none at first grade yet, but yeah, just been doing that utility role, sort of coming on the middle and on the edge at the moment.
Because I kind of got a tip or maybe some advice. After seeing this clip,
This one,
I don't know whether you want to continue to play wide running forward or you want to go back to the halves, but we'll play it anyway.
yeah, let's just have a quick look
And
at
we'll see how you feel about it. All I know is that it hurts me to watch it, and I didn't even actually do it. So we'll see how we go here. Just get this up on YouTube, bro. I'm gonna kill him. I'm just gonna commentate in your head. Oh, now I'm dead.
That's one straight on the chin.
I'm
Oh,
dying.
stay down,
I'm
mate.
dying.
That
Wow.
was a short night in the office.
Wow. So, walk me through it, bro. Walk me through it.
That's called sitting on the sideline for too long and working yourself up, and getting on the field and trying to do something that you shouldn't do by yourself. And Adam Blair's a very good player and protects himself the right way, and I'm pretty much at his shoulder. So
Let's have another look at that one.
you got to take the good with the bad.
Oh man.
56 minutes I was sitting there.
Do you
working
remember
myself.
this?
Yeah, I do. I actually wasn't. I know it looks bad. I was more stunned. I wasn't unconscious. Like I was looking at the grass.
You were
there,
still
yeah.
awake. Oh,
Like
God.
I'm still conscious. I remember hitting the deck, and I sort of thought to myself, try and get up and get on side.
Yep.
And then my head weighed about 1,000 kilos. So as you can see there, I'm back too now. But yeah.
Did you want to stay on, or were you just
Yeah,
completely out
I
of it?
did, but the rule is you stumble, you're gone.
You're done.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I went back in. I was pretty filthy at the time. It was a big game.
Yeah,
I think it was
yeah.
our first game at Cogra too, and the Broncos top of the table. And Will been playing a big game. We played 56 minutes straight, and I just worked myself up, and that's what happens. You got to take the good and the bad with footy, don't you?
So you didn't miss a week for that, did you? As in head injury wise, did you have to have a rest?
No, I had the cog test on the Wednesday, and the doc had to talk to the doc the next morning, and all the tests that they gave me after the game obviously I didn't pass.
Yep.
The next morning, talked to the doc, I passed them. He goes, we'll do the cog test during the week. So I think we went back Monday, had Tuesday off, cog test Wednesday.
Yep.
Passed that. Doc gave me the all clear, and I was able to play the Anzac game, which is a game I really wanted to be a part of, which was good against the Roosters.
I'm a big fan of the stance they've taken recently of the head knocks, because when I was coming through playing, I know a lot of players get frustrated. Obviously, it's frustrating. You feel like you're all right and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I was playing, there wasn't that much information on concussion and the long-term effects.
Yeah.
Because in America right now, NFL is actually, they're going through huge
Players are
lawsuits.
suing the NFL,
Yeah,
aren't they?
huge
So
lawsuits, which I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I never knew any of that stuff until I read about it.
Yeah, which they're going through huge lawsuits. So I like the stance, whether the NRL is doing it for the player welfare or to to save its own ass. Like, it's probably doing it for both.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I like that they're trying to be a really hard stance on it, because it links to depression, links to a lot of impulsive decisions. There's long-term effects.
Yeah.
They're even finding now soccer players getting head injuries from hitting the ball, for the whole. Yeah, so they're finding there's a lot of data to back up the fact that even small knocks to the head can cause a long-term effect.
I know. Well, as you can see, like whenever I've seen someone, one of the players get knocked. I think there was one Graham, the front row for the Dogs, a couple of weeks ago. He was knocked out,
fully done.
He was gone and didn't want to come off. To his credit, like because you want to play, you want to be.
That's what I mean. Players are too tough for their own good,
and he's an integral part of their team.
Yep.
And he's a captain, I think too. So when he goes off, they obviously lose a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're trying to look after the players as well. So that's probably
Mary's always been. I mean, when I played under Mary, he was always pretty understanding. Like I know that not a long time ago, but a bit ago, that it was kind of if you did go off, it was kind of seen as like you're dogging the boys or you're soft or whatever. And I do think that people are starting to understand the repercussions of.
Well, you have a look at it. When you see someone get knocked senseless out, you see it in like UFC, boxer, it doesn't look good.
No,
you know what I mean?
way.
Like everyone in Australia, or most people in Australia watch rugby league on a Friday night. When you see someone get knocked out,
it doesn't look good for the game.
Exactly. No. So at the end of the day, it's probably a good decision for the NRL. Obviously, the players don't want to go out, but that's what happens. That's a rule, so you got to abide by the rules.
Yep. So you originally started with the Dragons. Did you grow up in?
Yeah,
Wollongong?
I was born in Wollongong. I was born down here.
Yep.
Moved to Queensland when I was 12, and I got signed by the club when I was 17. I come back down, played street ball, 20s, and had my first stint at the club until I got released at the end of 2012 due to some, me being young and dumb and making some runs along the way, and then played Q Cup up at Redcliffe.
With you?
For 2 years. You were there for the first year, and then I was kept in touch with a couple of people down the club, and I learned a lot of life lessons, and Mary was kind enough to hear my side of the thing and give me a second chance in getting playing footy, and it's good to get a sniff this year and just come to terms with the club for 2016. So I'm very happy about that, and I'm just glad to be a part of it again. It's real good.
A lot of people, they see NRL players, on the field and they see the glitz and glamour of it, but you being an NRL player and then losing everything and having to work all the way back through Q Cup, a lot of people wouldn't understand. The people that are on the fringes of NRL, it's a lot tougher life than people think. Walk us through, the year or two that you had to literally work from. You literally went from back to zero.
Pretty much. Well, what happened? I moved to Queensland up in Brisbane with my mate Josh Maguire, plays for the Broncos. He was, I was very fortunate. The Big Show. I was fortunate enough to let him let me live at his house, and the job where I worked at, which was a dog food factory, which was just probably a 5-minute drive around the corner. So that was a bonus for me. And Redcliffe was only 20 minutes away. That's where I ended up playing, and going from being a full-time footy player to having a job to working with raw meats and I didn't sell the dog food, I was making it. I was putting it in a grinder, which that was a big eye-opener for me. I can count how many times I wanted to get in my car and drive home, but I stuck it out, and at the end of the day, it's benefited myself as a person, because I realised that while you're riding a good wave, try and ride it for as long as you can, because there's a lot of other people out there doing worse than you, and it was a big eye-opener for me.
Yeah, the thing that a lot of people don't realise, when you're on the fringes of first grade, it's a very different life to being an NRL player. It's kind of it's so cutthroat that, and also the pay's a lot better now, obviously. But there were times where the pay it's a hard life, because you're nearly in first grade, but you're nearly out of it. What was the feeling like of thinking, I'm a first grade player, and you went away and you did the hard yards, you did all the right things, you went away, played footy up in Queensland. What was it like thinking, I'm good enough to play NRL, but I've just got to bide my time and keep playing, in Q Cup or whatever?
At the start, it was real hard, because I probably still had a little bit of probably had the ego of, I'm better than what I should be doing, blah, 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 all that sort of crap. But, mate, it's something I had to do, and it was a blessing in disguise, because it's it's made me better, and it's I reckon it's made me a better footy player as well, because it's made me from away from eating right and all that sort of stuff, which is what you got to do. But I wasn't always the best at it. I'm still not the best at it, but it's something I work on all the time.
Yep.
And you know, to be. I've even sort of got that role at the moment. Just, you know, I've come off the bench or I've just been in or out, and it is hard. Like if you're not like each week, like it's the best feeling in the world when you're in the team and when you're just on the outside.
Yep.
But that's the way it is. That's why keeps you going as well. You know, if you're just on the outside, you know, next week you might get a turn.
Well, you play your best footy
exactly,
there too.
and it keeps you consistent. And you know, people that are from the you know, the coaches and the other boys, the senior players, they look down and see you still having a go when you're in reserve grade or whatever. That makes them think, oh well, at least he's having a go. So you know, could get your shot the week after or the 2 weeks after, and you're ready to go.
So, was there any time over the period that you were away from the Dragons? Was there any time where you were like, this is just I just can't do this anymore? You know, maybe I should focus on and getting a qualifications and all that kind of stuff, or were you always certain that you wanted to get back in NRL and this is what you're going to do?
Might sound crazy, but I had a feeling that if I'd done right, I'd get back, and that's just because I love playing footy. You know, and I always wanted to come back to the Dragons because my home, Wollongong's my home. Like, you know, I've got a lot of family down here, a lot of good mates as well. You know, Trent Merrim, Dan Hunt, they're two close mates of mine. I wanted to come home, and you know, I was fortunate enough and blessed that I got a second chance at it. So it's a bit of a dream come true again for me. And you know, it's a bonus now. I get to be at the club for 2016 as well, and I'm just looking to put my best foot forward for everyone involved.
So you came back down here end of 2013, 2014.
14, yeah, end of 2014. We're 15 now. Yeah.
And you were on just a week by week kind of thing, weren't you?
The deal was come down week by week, and see how you go. Pretty much till reviewing round 8. So I come back down and I pretty much done. I rattled myself in the pre-season with everything done. I've tried my hardest, done everything that was asked of me. You know, took myself. You know, just stayed at home every weekend. You know, was pretty much living the straight and narrow life. And then, you know, it paid off. I got to play in the Charity Shield. You know, and then I got to. I was fortunate enough. Well, not fortunate, but you know, a couple of boys. Yeah, couple of boys got injured. And I was on that. I got on a trip to England to play Warrington, which was. You know,
how good was that?
Mate, it was one of the best experiences I've had in a footy term.
Yep.
We were over in England for 10 days. You know, I felt a real part of it. You know, I've obviously got to bond with some players that I just met this year, which was good. And we got the win, which was great. And, you know, I got a bit more time than expected with Tyson Frizzell getting knocked out, getting concussed off a kickoff as well. So I think I got about 55 minutes of right back row. So, you know, I was very fortunate. It was to go over there and do what I've done and play as long as I did. And we got the win, which is great. And, mate, the crowds over there, it's just
they're wild.
They're 2 foot away from you.
Yep.
We're warming up and they're screaming and singing songs, mate. You know, it was a bit intense, but it was good to be a part of.
Did you get a chance to sightsee or anything like? Well, have you ever been to England or?
We lived we stayed just on the outside of Manchester, so we could walk into town, and we had a little bit of a look around. On our day off, we went to I think it's the biggest mall in the Northern Hemisphere or something like that. We went down to
in Manchester.
Yeah, around there. I'm not sure what it's called.
I went to when I was 16. I went to England for soccer.
Yeah,
and we went to that exactly. And this would have been what 2000 and this would have been 2002. And you know how probably in the last 2 or 3 years we've got like the car parks with all the numbers and everything. So when you drive in, you can see how many car parks are taken in this row and how many car parks are taken in that row kind of thing. They already had that. In 2002, they already had that. So like that's how far ahead that shopping centre was, and it was one of the biggest. It was so big, like, and just had everything you could think of.
Seriously, the food, like where you go to get the food was as big as a Wollongong Mall. It was chockers.
Yeah.
And it was just people in there. Everything you could think of you wanted to buy was in there. You know, we had to walk around, and then we bought some stuff over there. You know, there was everything there from shoes to, you know, they've got that here. But
the first time I'd ever seen a kids designer store.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is too much. Like this is just, you know, this is way too much.
Yeah. It was, mate, lucky it's heated. It's heated too because it was freezing over there.
Oh, it is. You're right. The first day I got there, actually, when I was in England, I walked outside, being just young and stupid. Walked out, I saw it was sunny, clear skies. I was like, oh, you know, Australia, shirt on, thongs. No, it was freezing, absolutely freezing over there.
There was a day over there when we trained, and it was the coldest day. got on the bus and we got out. We're training out at Salford, which is probably 25, 30 minutes from where we were staying. So we got on the bus, we played cards on the way there. We got off, and it was, I don't know, 2 degrees.
You can't describe the cold.
Wet with wind.
Oh.
So it was like
chill
we're sitting there
factor.
training, just going, "What are we doing?"
Oh.
And, the coaches helped us out. We actually trained really well. We got out there, just did our stuff, and then we
You just
got
wanted
back
to
on
get
the
out of
bus. I remember standing in the shower for about half an hour when I got back there.
And these guys, the Pommies, they do it week in, week out. I don't know.
I don't know I don't know how they train. I think apparently a couple of boys went to the Manchester United training facilities.
Yeah, I've been there. It's ridiculous. They've got heated grounds.
They got heated grounds. They had all their like they got a treadmill underwater apparently.
I didn't see that.
Oh, mate, their physios and what they have over there to probably keep their bodies going. Some of the stuff the boys were saying was ridiculous. So no wonder they get looked after.
Oh, when I went there, when I was younger, we rocked up to their training ground. They're like literally just their training ground, and it was like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, whatever you want, name it. It was that kind of car was there. Whatever kind of cool car it was there, and we walked in, and we thought we were at like a small team stadium.
Yeah.
It was a complete indoor stadium. With
So
and we're so they don't train on just normal grass.
Nah.
They train on a thing called AstroTurf,
Yeah.
which is like just what you can get from Bunnings, but obviously way better. Yeah. And we're running around on it, kicking the ball and stuff like that. And like one of the boys like did a slide tackle or whatever, and he gets up and he's like, the ground's warm as anything.
Yeah.
We find out after the ground's literally got heating underneath it. Like
it's a joke.
It's ridiculous. The money in football, I say football, but soccer over there is astounding. Like absolutely astounding. Oh, and also we beat Manchester United at 16-2-1, but that's not a big deal. Whatever, beat some of the world's best under 16s. Or yeah, it's not a big deal. But yeah, so you got back from England, played good. You played good in that game.
Yeah, no,
I watched it. And you didn't start the year though, did you?
No, we come back and I think there was Will Matthews hurt his hand, so he was out till about round 2 or 3. I think Mike Cooper didn't come over with us. So obviously, mate, he had a massive year last year. Of course, he's going to put himself straight back in the team. And I was the unlucky one that just missed out for the first 2 rounds. I was 18th man for the first week. Second week 18th man, but I got a game under my belt, which was good because it was my first. You can't have too many weeks off, as otherwise you lose your fitness and that. Then round 3 against Canberra.
Yep. What was that feeling like when you got the? It was 2 years in the making, or 3 years?
Yeah, but 2 and a bit. Yeah.
So 2 and a bit years in the making, and I mean, obviously we stayed in touch and talked about it a lot. And I knew how much it meant to you.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like? Explain, because what a lot of people may not realise with footy is to make it into the top. You've got to want it so bad, unless you're a freak. Like, I'm not saying that Greg Inglis doesn't want it, but what I'm saying is that he could make it no matter what.
Yeah.
But like, if you're a guy that's on the fringes and you're trying to make it, it's literally, if you don't. I remember when I was trying to make first grade, the only thing that mattered was making first grade. That's all that mattered, and I know you were in that headspace. So what was that feeling like of getting that call?
I think I prepared myself probably. Well, it helped me come back into it was the pre-season, which I'll go back to is something Wayne Bennett told me when I was real young, that it just went in one ear and went out the other, being young and stupid. But said if you what sort of pre-season you have determines what sort of year you had. So I knew if I had a big pre-season or really push myself, it eventually come. So when I did get that call head against Canberra, it was sort of. I was really happy to be there, but also I knew I had a job to do, so it wasn't just about me. It was about making sure I played well for the team and did my role, made my tackles and done my runs. It's a special thing being there, but it's also special when you go there and do right by the boys. And we got the win down in Canberra because we were down 18-0, and then I think Dukes got 10 in the bin, and everyone just thought we'd 3 in a row, 3 losses in a row to start the season. And to the credit of everyone that was there, we ended up winning the game, which was massive. And there was that probably put the icing on the cake. My first game back, come from behind win, and I got Ewan Aiken debuted as well, so that was a pretty special moment. I got to be a part of that with him, and we got our first win on the board for 2015, which was good.
You spoke about that team kind of camaraderie that it kind of sounds like Mary. When I was under him, he did it really well as well. He's got this team. Everyone's on board with a goal, and that your individual. Because what you just said then was like, I was working kind of for the team, and I just wanted to do the right thing for the team. It seems like Mary's got this really good team culture that all the Dragons boys have bought into, you know, and you can see it on the field when times get tough. Everyone's kind of bought into it. What's that kind of? Is there a feeling like that you can?
Well, you know what it is. I think it's just wanting to win. I think, from my opinion, we're just working real hard for each other. So you know, and the stuff we've been doing, like we're bashing each other at training. Why not try to get out in the field and, you know, bash people and get the win and all that sort of stuff. So that's sort of just the mentality we have at the moment, and you know, it's obviously shown a little bit on the field, which is good.
So, is there any? What would you say? You've been under Wayne, you've been under Mary, you've been under Pricey. What would you say is different? Like, 'cause Mary's taken a team that ran, I don't know, like 12th last year, top of the table this year.
Just missing the 8 last year when he got involved too.
And when he got, he's taken. What would you say is a characteristic that Mary brings to the table that is unique to Mary?
Well, there's something that there's 3 blokes in there. There's Dean Young, Paul McGregor, and Benny Hornby.
Yep.
And probably the 3 biggest things, you know them as well, is hard work. Nothing beats hard work, and that's pretty much what we're doing. And that's what they've instilled in us, and we've just bonded together as a team really well. You know, we're all got each other's back at training. No one's left out of anything. We all go have, you know, it's like go and have breakfast together, or coffees, or if we go have a feed or beers or whatever, everyone's together and we're all in tight, and that's the way it should be, and that's the way it's going.
Yep. Speaking of Ben Hornby and Dean Young, their era, they would know a guy called Ben Ross.
Yes. Now, I haven't brung myself to watch this, but I heard about it, and he had surgery this morning, so I do not know. A gentleman by the name of Ben Ross. I don't know if you watched the footy show last night. No, I missed it.
I haven't seen it either yet, but we've agreed to wait and watch it together. So let's have a look at this and get a reaction of what's...
Is he doing Dell? He's versing Dell. Oh! It snapped.
Oh my god. I didn't think it was that bad.
Did you hear that? I heard it pop.
Bro, I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh my gosh. Look at all the people in this. Do you see? It gave way.
It fully snapped. Oh, I didn't think it was that bad.
Wow.
Oh, yuck. Oh, we're watching this again. My bad.
And
Tom,
just wait for him, mate. Wow. Yeah, because I heard he had surgery this morning or this afternoon or something, Ben Ross, on his arm. So
did he?
Obviously, yeah. He had to have surgery on it.
He goes, if Wendell's face could turn white, he'd turn. I was like, oh, jeez.
I heard that snap. It wasn't in the.
Bro, I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't even think it was that bad. I thought it was like dislocated at the elbow, and I thought that you didn't see it. I thought you kind of just.
That was fully gone.
Oh man.
Wow.
So so you signed for 2016. How happy are you about that?
I'm very, very happy to be able to play footy again for another year. You know, it's a good feeling, and I'm just looking forward to finishing this year on a strong, and then, you know, we get that little bit of break and get away, and then look forward to coming back for 2016, which will be good.
What's the feeling like of literally 12 months ago, you were packing boxes of dog food?
Yeah.
Like packing boxes of dog food. 12 months later, you're playing good footy. You've signed a contract, secured your future, so you're an NRL player now. You know, you're not on a round 8 review, whatever. What's that kind of feeling like? I mean, I remember what it's like for me, but for you personally,
it's
relief.
Yeah. Well, the first time around, I probably took a bit for granted.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? Yeah. You take it for granted, and this time I've just grabbed it with both hands. Just, you know, every time I run out, I, you know, say thank you, or, you know, it's just good. It's just good being back and being amongst it. You know what I mean? And they're very, very lucky.
Are you finding that you're enjoying it more because you realise how...
I think I'm enjoying it more, and I think my attitude's better, so that makes me, you know, I still remember, so when I was younger, I'd get up going, I can't believe we're going to go training today. Like, now I'm like, see, I'm the first one there. Like, I just want to be there. Do you know what I mean? It's just a whole lot of different stuff, eh?
What I can't believe what training day when you're
Yeah.
like now that I work, I'm just like, oh man.
Like, having to get up at 10 to 5 to drive an hour to go mix dog food, or get up.
It's completely
lift it.
different.
Oh, it's a different.
And it's just like, but the weird thing is that what I have noticed is that like to be a football player, it's extremely hard, but it's a different hard. Like you could take someone that works 9 to 5 and say, all right, you're in a first grade squad now, go.
Yeah.
And they would be like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
I remember my first preseason when I was, 17, and I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. By the 5th preseason, I was like, this is it. Not easy, but it was just like kind of my body.
You get your head around
it. You know what to expect. All that kind of way of thinking. You just got into that mode. Whereas with working, like I'm starting to get used to it now, but even still, it's just completely different.
Yeah.
It's long hours.
Yeah, well, it's the same with me. Like I was like that when I had to work at the factory. I wanted to drive off the road sometimes, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then going to a dog food factory probably 8 or 10 months after it, like I was getting up and just because that's what I had to do. Do you know what I mean? Like if you got to do it, you got to do it. So do it to the best you can. You know what I mean? So it's it's a lot easier getting up and going training in the morning than it is going to a dog food factory.
When you are thinking, oh man, I got training today, you're like, whoa, wait a second.
Pull your head in, mate. Yeah. Don't worry, I've had those mornings during pre-season going, wow, this is so hard, but you know, I'd do it. Can't wait for the
easy.
Exactly.
Easy. So we spoke earlier about being in the halves. You're coming off the bench, bit of a utility. Where would be your preferred kind of position? Where you'd end up?
Well, from what people I've talked to, in the middle somewhere. So I don't know if it'd be either lock or hooker, but that's at the moment. If that opportunity does come down the track, that's something that I've got to look into. But the role that I've got at the moment, just when I'm in there, coming off the bench, playing that 35, 40 minutes, really enjoying it. In the middle, that's the highway. So you're out there and you just got to bust your ass for as long as you can, and then you get off the field and then you let the other boys go on there. So it's pretty intense in the middle. I didn't play too much in the middle until this year. When my first stint, I was on the edge, which is still hard, but that middle there, like the highway, that's
hard.
Yeah, it's fast, and
especially hooker, because hooker, you got to be ready to go as well as.
Well, I don't think I've played the Melbourne Storm. Like I haven't even got to play like Cameron Smith, like those blokes, mate. You watch him play Origin and that, it's ridiculous.
He goes all day long, and he's always like ready to do something. Like he's always ready to explode, ready to change the game.
So, it's difficult.
You're a New South Wales peasant. I'm Queenslander, obviously.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about game 2? What do you reckon? Obviously, good mate Mez is in the team.
Yeah, well, that's Mez is in the team, and Doogs in the team as well.
Yep.
And
hasn't he been playing some good footy?
Freak,
absolute freak.
So.
And he's a guy as well. Like Mary is good for a guy like Doogs, because Doogs is literally he's like a GI. Like he
seriously is.
He's so good, and he's just a game breaker. He's a game breaker, and he's constantly breaking. Like even if he's having an average game, he's still breaking tackles. Yeah. He's still like creating a problem for the opposition.
Well, hopefully, he takes the form he's got in club at the moment into the second game of Origin. Like that first game he played was outstanding. And, I wish nothing but the best for both of them in the game. I hope.
Who you back? Like as in, I know who you backing, but what are you backing them in by? Are you back? Do you think they'll win?
They'll win just because they need. Like obviously they need to win, and I reckon they've got Gallen back, who's I reckon he'd die before they come off the field with the loss, because he wants to obviously go that decider, and there'd be nothing better than winning game 2 than having the decider up at Queensland and getting the win up there. So I'll back New South Wales, but very, very tight, I think.
Did you hear on the last episode Gallen to fight Sonny Bill?
Yes, I did. You and Bo were talking about that'd be something to look at. Who are
you backing there?
Listen, I like boxing. I love Mike Tyson and that, so I don't know too much about boxing. I just like watching it. But you think Sonny Bill because he's a bit taller and longer,
big reach.
But yeah, you think
I reckon Gallen, if he just mungles it, he might be able to pull.
He's got a lot of that too.
Because both are that when he fought Sonny Bill towards around 10 or whatever, Sonny Bill was having issues with containing him, because he was just a really sloppy kind of fight.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
Is it going to be a full-on fight? Would it be for charity? Do you know? Or
I don't know. All I know is it'll be huge. Sonny Bill versus Garland. That's awesome.
just give them 5 rounds and see how they go. Or that'd be a full fight. Do you reckon? Go 10,
I think they'd go 10, not 12.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd go 12.
No.
I don't think it would make it.
No.
It also, like, they can't really train for a 12-round fight when they're playing footy.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a loss to the game, Sonny Bill. He was so good. He was just so good.
Mate, freak.
If you
Absolute
had to rate, if there was one player in the game where you're like, he's number one, who would you say?
At the moment,
Yep.
Thurston.
Thurston? How good is he?
He's a genius.
And what I love about Thurston is he's a genius, but not only is he a genius, he's a battler. Like, he does not stop. I've never seen a game.
You watch a game when someone's running the length or whatever, he's the one chasing them so they're not getting too close to the post. Like, it just the things he does off the ball. And he the game last week against Parramatta, I'll come home, think it was 25 minutes to go, and who I live with, he goes for Parramatta. And I've gone, they've got this and the thing. So I went upstairs, had a shower and come back downstairs, and it was 30-all. Thurston set up 5 tries or something, scored one, and Gavin Cooper scored a hat-trick. He'd be, mate, how happy would be Gavin Cooper playing outside Thurston?
Ridiculous. And Thurston, I've never seen a game, where he has. He's obviously had average games, but there's never been a game where you've said Thurston really didn't seem like he wanted to be.
The only
on
time
the
you've ever
field
seen him really off is if he misses 1 or 2 kicks a goal. You know what I mean? He's never not had a go.
That's what I mean. There's other most players. There'll be games where you can just tell they're a bit off and they kind of maybe something's going on and they don't really want to be there. I've literally never seen a game where Thurston has been on the field and hasn't given it absolutely everything. Absolutely everything.
He's a freak.
All right, bro. You've got to head off soon, don't you?
Yeah, in a bit.
So for the future, you signed for 2016. In the future, going forward, is St. George the club you want to be at forever?
That's obviously got the other year under my belt, but got to prove myself once again, and hopefully next year when we're sitting down at this time, hopefully I've got a 2017 deal as well, and that's if everything goes to plan. But we won't look that far ahead. But yeah, it's good. It's comforting now that I've got next year as well to be able to prove myself as a footy player and be around the club and be involved in playing rugby league again, which is it's a dream come true, and hopefully I can do it for as long as I can.
You've been away from St. George for a bit. Is there a unique thing that St. George as a club and fans and kind of thing? Do you kind of feel a unique? Do they bring something unique to the table?
Yeah, well, the thing that I've mate, when did we play? The last game at Cogger against the Sharks. We, running out there, seeing the whole when you get that whole grass side of the field filled up on the hill, and they let the flares off, and they're like, that's why we play footy. I reckon is that sort of stuff, and I know when. Probably the boys don't notice it as much when they're playing, but if I'm sitting on the bench, I always have a look around to see. They're
passionate. St. George fans,
exactly,
crazy, passionate.
So it's good. It's good we're going good, and they can, they're supporting us, and that's what it's about, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, well, 100%. I know when I came to St. George from, I was playing Union at the time, but just there was a core kind of fan base, just this kind of history that St. George had, and they had this core fan base. It was just so passionate, and there was definitely a unique vibe in St. George with the history the clubs had that I kind of enjoyed and saw in the fans that when they did come to the game, they were very kind of passionate. Don't get me wrong, every club has passionate fans, but St. George was definitely, it felt like it had a unique vibe just due to the history and the length of people, how long they've been fans of the game and whatever.
Even after games, when we go to the Red V after game functions and that, they're singing the song as we walk in, when there's all that sort of stuff. So they love it, and that's cool, and it's good that we got them there to support us.
All right, we'll change it up again. I asked Bo 3 questions.
Yes.
First question was favourite movie.
Oh, wow. Just one.
You're you can actually just one. You just got to, because that means you clearly like it because you're throwing everything out for that one movie.
Well, only because it's one that I've seen real recent. I want to say American Gangster with Denzel and Russell Crowe. That movie.
Stop it.
Yeah, that's just because it's recent. I've got a couple other movies, but that movie's up there.
What about how the bit where he's in the diner with his family and the dude comes in. He's like, "You owe me 10%. You owe me 10%."
And he just shoots him in the head,
boom,
and then
he
takes
goes,
his
"There's
money.
your No, he leaves it. 10%.
Oh, that's right. He takes it out, then puts it.
He's the man.
Mate.
I spoke about last week, Denzel. He's literally so good. He's
Mate,
so
best
good.
actor.
Have you seen his commencement speech on YouTube? It's
No.
it's a commencement speech for like university
Yeah.
students when they graduate.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty religious, I think, but I think he's a Christian or a Catholic or something like that. So it's a bit religious, but it's also it's pretty inspiring the way just the way he kind of talks about life and all that kind of thing. Okay, second question. I know you like rap too, so I'll ask favorite rapper.
Tupac.
Tupac.
Yeah.
So that's two Tupacs.
Yeah.
God damn. Current favorite rapper.
Current favorite rapper.
I know you like a bit of Wiz.
Well, I'm getting into a bit of YG at the moment.
You like YG?
YG and DJ Mustard.
Didn't he release a documentary?
He released a song movie sort of thing. It's like 25 minutes. YG.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's alright.
Is it different? Or is it
Yeah,
weird?
it goes for 25 minutes. So there's it's basically a video clip of where he's from and
he
go
raps
around
about
with,
it and
yeah,
stuff.
sort of like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, I'm in a bit of YG at the moment.
I know you're a Drizzy fan.
Drake, yeah,
So good, eh?
Yeah.
That was Bo's favourite rapper.
yeah,
Favourite artist? Got a favourite artist, or is rap kind of?
yeah. Rap's pretty much that's what I listen to the most. Rap and R&B.
Yep.
So,
TV
yeah.
show.
Entourage. Just seen the
Entourage?
movie too. Man,
What was the movie like?
it was good, man. I liked it. It went for because I'm a massive fan of it. I thought they could have made another 2 seasons from what was in the movie.
Yep.
Just with what
Oh,
they
so you
had.
reckon they should have just?
Yeah,
kept-
I reckon it was a bit of a long episode,
Yep.
but it was still mad. There was cameos in it.
Yep.
That, you
was
know,
it funny?
yeah. Johnny Drum. Oh, I reckon the first, when you see a movie a couple of times, I'll probably pick it up on a bit more. But yeah, there's some funny bits in it. Johnny Drummer's
You
hilarious.
saw Jurassic World.
Yeah, Jurassic World's in
What
it
was that
today.
like?
Yeah, liked it.
I love movies, man.
There'll be another one of those. I think they
Don't
got
spoil it. Don't spoil it.
they got a couple new dinosaurs, so it's cool.
All right, bro. Thanks so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. And
No worries.
hopefully, probably have you on soon anyway. So
Yeah, I'll come back on for sure.
hopefully, you continue to play good footy, man, and stay in the first grade side. Is there any? You're on Instagram at Jakey Marketo.
Yeah, I got probably was it at Jakey Marketo on Instagram, and then just Jake Marketo on Facebook. So
Yep.
I think
And you got Twitter or anything like that?
no Twitter. I don't know how to use Twitter. No.
Okay, man. All right, thanks, bro. And yeah, thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having us on.
Sweet.
Nice.